Start your day the joyful way. It's your weekday morning talk show inviting you to start your day with a triple shot of good vibes. And now here's your host, the queen of joy herself, Jessica Dugas. Good Thursday morning, everybody. It is Thursday, June the 16th, 2022. In case you needed to hear this, we're almost halfway through the year. You're welcome. It hit me like a ton of bricks. It has hit me like a ton of bricks every day for like the last month. Where did the month go? I have no idea. If you find out, let me know. Who's the culprit of this nonsense? I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Super excited to be with you for another episode today. We're continuing to dive into our summer reading series on the show today with a very good friend of mine. And I have to tell you something right now. If you were not in a good vibe before coming on the show, Laura Staley is going to have you leaving in that good vibe. She doesn't even have to say anything, and her energy is just lovely. So I'm very excited to have her on the show. She's a multiple author. I tried to gather all her book, and I think she has so many, I might have packed one already. So really excited to have her on the show coming up in a little bit as well. If you're joining us live or on the replay, I would love for you to take a moment, say hello, let us know where you're joining from, and let me know what is bringing you joy in your life today. I mentioned yesterday I shared with you guys that we did get an offer on the house. We accepted the offer. And so really excited to start that, being in that planning mode this morning, deciding on dates of everything. And it was so nice for me yesterday to make it's not an announcement unless it's Facebook official, right? So I made the Facebook announcement yesterday that we had sold the house and accepted the offer, and said, I'm going to put in the comments what our direction will be driving up to. That's you don't even need a map. You just go this way and that way. And so I went to share in the comments what our driving will be, where we'll be going. And I'm excited because it's going to be like the Breakthrough Show Network tour. I'm so excited and so thrilled. And one of the other things that really brought me a lot of joy is several of my friends who from back home who commented and were just like, welcome home. We can't wait to see you. And it's really nice. And, I've shared to get a little sentimental with you guys for a moment. I've shared recently that I felt like sometimes I needed to go away in order to come back home. And sometimes we need that different perspective. And there are some people that have had the opinion of, well, why are you going back? Why are you going backwards? But we've talked about this on the show before, where you never truly go backwards, because even if you repeat things, places, people, circumstances in your life, you're coming into it with all new experiences, all new life lessons. And I've said, I've even talked to my kids about this. I said, I'm a different person now than I was when I was back home, years ago. And so I'm excited to go back there, this person that I am now. And I'm also excited to bring my kids to all my old haunts, my old places. And my daughter was like, are you going to show us all the places you used to sing and and I said, yes, we're going to go relive all of that. You're welcome. And it's going to be fun. And I'm most excited. I think the other thing that I was thinking about yesterday was that, I've mentioned a couple of times, we're 2 days out from 1 year since I had COVID, and this last year has been so challenging in so many different ways. And but even before that, with some of the health challenges that I have just felt very strongly like I can't completely get into that space of complete healing because I'm just uncomfortable where I am physically. And so I'm really excited to go down to the beach and sit on my rock. Yes, it's my rock. I don't care how many other people have sat on it. It's my rock. And take some deep breath, because I'm going to tell you something. That salty sea air is healing. It's healing. I'm very excited about that. So, yes, all of this is it's happening. We said that the other day. That's my phrase of the month. It's happening. That's it. So that's what's bringing me joy this morning. Let's see who's in the comments this morning and joining us today. Mandy's here, Grand Rising. It is good to see you this morning, as well as Brittany. Mandy says, Brooklyn, New York. What's bringing me joy is this avocado toast. I love some avocado toast. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you ever put a little tagine on there, but girl, it's so good. It's so good. Thank you, Miss Brittany. Mandy said, sometimes life brings you back home to finish your mission. 100%. Sometimes we circle back. And, we talked about this. Who did we talk about this with? Scott Mason. Scott Mason, we talked about this with when he was on the show Tuesday night. A lot of times we'll make these big changes in our lives, and the chatter starts, from outside. What are you doing? Are you crazy? What's going on? And it's not up to anybody but ourselves to understand what that mission is, right? But it can be hard. Like I'm completely acknowledging that when the people start this, it's hard to put your headphones on and just la la la. Okay, it's challenging, but I think it's so important that we surround ourselves with people who are like, I don't care what your mission is. I'm with you in the passenger seat, and so that's really important as well. And to learn or relearn lessons we may have missed out on, that too, and to finish our book. I have been dragging my feet. I have been working on my book for 2 years, you guys. And I feel like I will be able, because the book is a collection of short stories about growing up with my grandparents right in that area. So I have always felt like I just need to go home to finish the book. And so I think the book is going to be finished on the rock at the beach. It's what's going to happen. Yes, the beach is my favorite place. Yes, with the tagine, 100%. And everyone loves Scott Mason, truly. Scott is the star of the Breakthrough Show Network at this point. We pointed out on Tuesday night when he was on My Way, he has now been on 3 different shows on the Breakthrough Show Network. So I said, Scott, are you looking for a job? Are you trying to replace me, Scott Mason? So anyway, Scott's amazing. Listen, let me know if there's anything in particular you're celebrating today. We don't have a lot going on in the way of national days today, but there's nothing else that you need to know other than the fact that today is National Fudge Day. Who doesn't love fudge? I don't know. But if you don't, you're on the wrong show. Go home. Fudge is amazing. And obviously I've shared before, we eat a plant-based diet. So finding vegan fudge is like a needle in a haystack, but we have perfected some vegan fudge in our house and it is delicious. And now that I'm going home, there is a little general store in Mystic Village, Connecticut, that is called Franklin's, and Franklin's has the best fudge on planet Earth. But of course, things that we don't eat in it at this point. So you can bet that I'm going to go home and say, listen, I'm here now. So now you need to make some fudge for me too. So I'm excited about that. Mr. Jackson's here this morning. I heard that the Eagle has landed. They have arrived in Jacksonville. Is everyone still alive, Mr. Jackson? Let me know that everyone survived this trip. I know that there was some stress, but I need to know if everyone is still alive and well. Judith, we love some fudge. And reminder, Judith is coming up on the show tomorrow, so don't miss her as well. We're going to take a quick break, you guys, and be right back with our special guest today, Laura Staley. So don't go anywhere, and go get a drink, use the restroom, come back. We'll be right back after this. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Today is Thursday, June 16th, 2022, and I'm very excited to continue our summer reading series because you know what? The kids have been volunteering at the library, and they get these kids all riled up in the summer with these summer reading programs. Where are our reading programs and prizes? They're right here on Project Joy Live. Your prizes that you get to talk to another amazing author every single day. Our author today is someone who I consider a personal friend and someone that I'm very excited that in less than a month, I am going to get a hug. It is on my calendar and I am thrilled. She's a feng shui expert. She's written several books. She's done podcasts. Again, with the multi-passionate people, there's nothing she hasn't done. I'm convinced of that. So without further ado, let's welcome Laura Staley to the show. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, Jessica. It's great to be here.
It's so good to have you here this morning. I get a hug soon.
I know. I can't wait.
I'm so excited because we've known each other for a couple years now.
Right. Yeah. The Saturday morning courageous conversation calls. Well, and I was on the Breakthrough show also, which was such an honor. Yeah.
I know. You're catching up with Scott Mason here.
Oh, because I love me some Scott Mason. He's an amazing human being.
It is a universal, and that's what the hilarious to me is, he's talked a lot recently about having so many haters and things. And I'm like, who are these crazy people?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They haven't experienced the heart and humor and wisdom of Scott Mason.
Right. Absolutely. Everybody's welcoming you to the show this morning. Love it. Love it. Well, listen, like I shared earlier in the show, Laura, you're a whole vibe. And anytime I'm in your presence, I feel so at peace and so calm. And I was so thankful when you volunteered as tribute to take over Courageous Conversations on Saturdays, because you have such a beautiful way of holding space for everybody and sharing their thoughts and feelings on these very deep rabbit hole topics. So I'm thankful for you this morning, my friend.
Oh, yeah, and very grateful for you and honored by that opportunity, excited also. And, I think it's such a gift, right, to have, because I love to talk, don't get me wrong. I know that's about that right now. But there's something about listening, just from one's whole self, right, from your feet, that is kind of stunning, because you hear and experience things that you might not if the head is all yammering at you. And thank goodness, for the most part, this has gotten a lot quieter in the 4 years. I'm coming up on a 4-year anniversary. I can't believe it, Jessica, of living here. As you can see, the trees behind me. I'm on the side of a mountain in western North Carolina, and I have never been surrounded by so much beauty everywhere my eyes can see. And I think it just nurtures. It has nurtured my soul in the way that you're describing sitting on that rock in the sea, and that's how I feel here. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in my soul home, and it has been incredibly healing. And I'm just so excited for you to, do deeper, possibly, right? Do those layers of healing when you're in Connecticut, because when the mind, heart, and body are in your soul home, like the place, like the physical space that just is yummy. Oh my gosh, right? That maybe, I mean, it'll be your journey, but for me, I'll speak for me. Like, this has gotten so much quieter, and the things that show up, I'm like, I laugh at some of the thoughts that flow through there. I'm like, really? You're still thinking that one? So yeah, at any rate, see, I'm riffing already. It's just, I'm riffing about this. Isn't that hilarious?
This is what we do here. And also, I've written down another quote that I need to put on a pillow, which is "Listen from your feet." You guys heard it here. And it's written down. Well, it's a better quote than what we came up with when Steve Gamlin was on the show, which was "Drunken scrapbooking does not a vision board make."
Might make something else.
but a vision board that actually works, we determine that that's not a good idea. You'll hurt yourself with the scissors, Laura.
Right.
But look, I'm really excited. You've been our whole summer reading series is about really celebrating authors, and you have several books. We get to play Vanna White here this morning. You've contributed to this book here, Crappy to Happy, which is amazing. You have this one, which I love, Live Courageously, Let Go Courageously, and Live with Love. Transform your life with feng shui. Yes. And then one of my favorites here, Live Inspired, by Laura Staley. And I have a little I closed my eyes and opened the book this morning, and I'm going to tell you which passage came up there. I love to do that with books. Just what message do you have for me today? And open it up and do that. So, and then you also have your other book, which I think I packed because it's Cherish Your World. But tell us a little bit, Laura. Yes. There we go.
Well, and Jessica, and then all right, I'm doing a Vanna White too with you. So there's this one also. Yeah.
Yes. How many do we have? But how did you ever envision yourself as an author? And if so, or if not, how did that happen?
Wow. Okay. So take me back to childhood. I have loved books. Love the library. It was so quiet. And I have adored books. Books anchored me, opened my imagination, soothed my soul, my heart. So my dream as a child, one of my childhood dreams, two I had. One was to become a mother, but not just any mother, just a really loving, healthy, conscious mother. And the second was to be an author. And I have to tell you that there was this period of time that I was in workshops and transformational this and that. And I declared it like years ago. And people would come up to me and they'd be like, how's your book? And I'd be like, what book? Well, you said you're going to write a book, and I wasn't writing. And I discovered that in order for a book to come out of a person, you actually have to write. Sort of like,
what?
I know. It's sort of like if you want to, I don't know, have a new job, you probably may need to apply or go to networking, or like there needs to be these actions, right? And you're a singer, right? So it's like when you wanted to sing, you had to actually sing.
That's a thing that has to happen.
Okay. So fast forward to my life imploding, because there's been so many. So my life imploded back in 2014. A marriage came to an end. My teen son, was going through a lot of challenge. My daughter went off to college. I literally drove my daughter off to college the day that I knew that the final piece of information came in, like, the so-called, proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back of the marriage. But I had been tracking it for a while and knew that I just needed to come to an end. Right. At any rate, on the day that I drove her off to college, I just knew. I was like, something inside of me not only knew that the marriage had come to an end, but I knew of the book. I'm like, okay, now, no more excuses, no more not talking about it, because I stopped saying anything, right, way back when, because it was mortifying to have all these people come up to me and be like, how's the book? And I'd be, full of shame, right? So at that point, I took it on, and I actually had been writing all along. So even though I hadn't been writing to work on a book, I had been writing these essays from my heart about my life experiences and ideas. And I was so passionate about, people living in spaces that were, free of clutter and arranged in a way that felt comfortable and safe and inspiring to them. And, and so it was like, wow, I can bring together these stories of my life, including the flood that led me to become a feng shui consultant, along with some gentle ideas. So, and the serendipity of having a dear friend, a really close friend, and I knew this about her, but mostly we never talked about our career paths. And I was still mostly a full-time mom, part-time feng shui consultant. She was a professional editor, Jessica. And I remember going to her and saying, oh my gosh, I now have all these essays, and I have more that are coming out of me. Would you be willing to edit my book? And she took it on, and I'm still, so honored by that relationship, because she knew me and she honored my voice, and I learned so much from her editing gifts, because she elevated my voice. She always explained why she made an edit. She wouldn't just, red mark, she would ask great questions. She'd be like, tell me, develop this idea a little bit more. Tell me, drop deeper. Don't pretty bow this, Laura, because sometimes I so wanted, to sometimes put pretty bows on the end of stories, and some stories just don't, they're messy, Yeah. For instance. So anyway, that was a long answer to your question, but being an author is a dream come true. And being a 4-time and then a contributing writer to these other books like Happy to Happy, again, I'm still, it kind of takes my breath away, honestly. When I really drop into my heart and my body, I would be bawling on the floor right now for how joyous it is that this dream has come true.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know Mandy mentioned she loves reading as well, and books have gotten her through depression and her mother's passing. And one of the things that I recognized myself with being an author, and I'd love to have your perspective on this, is that being an author became a three-part joyous experience. So one, there was so much healing for me in that writing process. Two, there was then healing for other people as they were reading the story, like Mandy shared, getting her through her mother's passing, getting people through these different times in their lives. And that third piece that to me was a little unexpected was how books have the ability, and becoming an author has the ability to bring people together through that collective healing experience. And so I would love to hear your perspective on that. Like, were you able to experience all of those things as well?
Yes. Oh, 1,000%. There's something about putting a story of the vulnerability, the courage to kind of, open the kimono. I know I had one reviewer say she opened a vein. That I know that's a little a little graphic. It didn't feel that way for me, but it does take courage to drop into that deep, vulnerable place of sharing a piece of your life, a learning, a lesson. It was very therapeutic for me and healing on a deep level. And it has brought people together. And again, I'm just like so touched because of course the first book, Let Go Courageously, I'll never forget when a Columbus Barnes and Noble allowed me to have a book signing, because of course you have these like magical thinking ideas like, oh my God, it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. And, 500 people are going to be lined out around the building, right? And so no, that it's not. And these ladies burst into, so people came. It wasn't like no one came, but these ladies had driven all the way like 2 hours or whatever it was, bursting in the door. I had never met them before. They were so jubilant to meet me. And so to your point about it bringing people together, oh my God. And hey, and it's like Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote about success. It ends with, if one life breathed easier because it lived. And there I was.
Yeah.
There I was. And of course there were other, very wonderful people that showed up and complimentary in the words, and how much it helped, how the words helped them, how the stories and the ideas really, really soothed them and inspired them to take action in their own lives. Oh my gosh. And that's when you go, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
What?
Yeah. So books bring people together. And I think a dream of mine has been, a childhood dream of mine had been, even an adult dream, right, has been to meet authors of books that have absolutely transformed my life. And it was an honor because Tara Catherine Collins, whose book about feng shui, The Western Guide to Feng Shui, Room by Room, absolutely transformed, still keeps transforming my life. I didn't get to meet her in person, but I've been on phone calls with her, and I there's just that, meeting somebody who has meant so much to you, so I know that feeling of being in awe and humbled by the presence of another person whose writing, whose ideas, whose learnings and wisdom have touched your heart so profoundly. So, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And Mandy said that you have reactivated something in her this morning. So watch out, because I don't know what Mandy's going to do after this show, but we're going to find out. I feel like having read your books that you, it's a natural thing for you to be an author, that it's something that you've always had a way of putting words. And I remember when we did the breakthrough show as well, just like I said, leaving there feeling renewed, and that doesn't always happen in interviews. Sometimes I'm just exhausted at the end. But that renewal happened because you have such a way with words and creating such a comforting space. In your book, Live Inspired, I opened this morning, and this was the passage that came up to give you guys a little bit of a blurb here. People who are hurting need your loving kindness and compassion the most. I do believe this truth in my heart of hearts. Sometimes this takes place from a distance. Occasionally, you might get up close, bravely climb down into the dark hole, sit with all the pain of another human being's soul because you know what that feels like. Because you found a way to some light, fresh air, and mountain hiking trails, you become a demonstration that this is possible. Your internal love matters. Your compassion matters. You are here to heal and love passionately, freely, as you look into your own eyes and the eyes of your fellow human beings. Love can transform your life at the heart of your hurts, in the broken open spaces of sunshine, people, traffic lights, vehicles, and poster boards bearing the red, pink, blue, purple colored word love. Love always finds a way to love. Love heals. So that's what I opened to this morning. And I would love for you to share with everybody. There was a mention of a poster with a word, and there's something that you guys do up there in that mountain that I need everybody to hear about.
So every Wednesday from 5 to 6 in the evening at the main intersection of Black Mountain, which is the town in which I live, there are several of us who have love signs. And we started in September of 2018. My friend just invited me. It is not religious. We're just friends who gather and hold love signs. We smile and wave to all the drivers and passengers who go through that intersection, as well as the pedestrians that we encounter. And just this last Wednesday, it was utterly beautiful. It was a super hot day, and the storm clouds were moving in, and we made it through the whole hour with our love signs. And there was a gentleman who at the end walked across the street, and I could overhear him, but he was talking to my friend, who was we call her the founder, the love lady, Miss Ruth Marion Pittard. And he just said, I was crying, I was praying, and then I looked up and saw all of you with your signs, and I knew I had to come over here and thank you. And I don't know any more than that, because I was kind of on my way out, but like that.
Yeah. I know you've spoken about the fact that there have been different reactions to this love demonstration. And when you shared that with me initially, it really helped to strengthen what I'm trying to do in my life and in my world, because I often will get caught up. I could have 100 people that are like, Jessica, I love your show. This is amazing. It's changing my life. And then I have that one person that says, well, this is just not good. And, you kind of suck and all of these things. And just, that one voice that's just pure ugliness. And what you point out in that chapter that I read from was that your son had said, Mom, those are the people that need your love the most and need what you're doing the most. So it encourages me when you talk about this to continue what I'm doing despite some of those little voices, and knowing that it is at minimum creating an energy of what they really need in their lives.
Completely. Well, and I also think sometimes, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Mm-hmm. And I think of the times in my own life, right, where a love sign could have been really triggering for me, and I would have flipped it off, right, because I was so angry. I mean, hopefully outwardly, but inwardly I've been like, yeah, love got to do with it,
Sing a little Tina,
and F love, and of course I look back at myself in those moments, and much like the wisdom of my son, I needed to be loving myself the most. I needed to be receiving love and forgiving myself. Mm-hmm. Yes, feeling that remorse and shame or whatever, but acting out that pain has never worked for me. I don't know about you. I'm like, yeah. I mean, for a bitty second, flipping the bird might have that, like that little, righteous. Yeah. Yet, right, for me anyway, right after that, I'm like, oh, I just, the utter embarrassment, right, and shame of having behaved so badly towards another human being, saying something that you really didn't want to say, or, so I've learned pause. If I'm doing that little niggle in there, is pause. Maybe Ian do this.
Yeah, and Laura's installed a little filter.
Because it's just, there's something inside of me that's needing that love, that's needing that compassion, that's needing that deep forgiveness. And you're so right, because that compassion, that love is so much bigger, and it's so much, it's more nourishing, right, and it's incredibly healing. And so the people who knew me back when that I had moments of behaving so badly, and who still love me, oh gosh, right. Mm-hmm. I feel so enriched and blessed by that. And can I be that person? Can I be the person who extends that love, radiates the love to the finger flippers, at our signs? It hasn't happened in a while, thank goodness, but it has happened. And the grousing faces and because I know that's pain. That's just pain, kind of being projected out into the world. And they're needing the love the most. And any part of me that's reacted to that, that's a part of me that I get to love. Yeah. That I get to love and pour love on, and pour compassion, and also go, what's that about?
Right. It's a beautiful opportunity. Yes. It's a beautiful opportunity to be able to do that, because I think the majority of us from the time that we're young are taught that when we act out, when we have these flip the bird moments, that we deserve to be punished, period. And that, that we are somehow less deserving of love and kindness and warmth and a hug and all of these different things. And so we have that opportunity when we, get older, to show ourselves that love, and then allow ourselves to show that to other people. Brittany said someone out there is cutting onions this morning. So I hope you all have enough tissues out in the audience today. Sharon said, Laura, nice to meet you on the show. You are a humble, authentic, and beautiful soul. Thank you for all your sharing. We appreciate you too, Miss Sharon. And so the things that you're describing, first of all, a lot of times people will say, they'll come on, they're a meditation teacher, they are very spiritual or whatever, and they'll tell these stories about how, I flipped the bird one time or whatever. And I don't believe them for 1 second, because they're just, and I believe you, Miss Laura, because you are a fireball. And that's what I love about your writing too, is that it's so real. I believe every word that you're saying, because you're not trying to sugarcoat anything. You just are who you are. Before we run out of time this morning, I would love for you, because you have so many books, I would love for you to kind of give everybody an idea of, who should go to what books. Is there a book that they should maybe start with? Like, give everybody a little blueprint for what they need to be getting after the show today.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you, Jessica. So this one, if you love stories and gentle ideas, and you're decluttering, like you're decluttering your life. I mean, maybe you're letting go of relationships, you're letting go of belongings, or you aspire to, this would be a great book. And I would say
every day.
Oh my gosh. And then along with that is this one. And what's wonderful about this one is they're just, dip in, dip out. So if you don't have a lot of time, not that any of my books are particularly onerous, they're not War and Peace, thank goodness. But if you love just little snippets and want to dip in and dip out, this is 100 tips for your home, to enhance your home and your life. So decluttering tips, ideas for emotional release, etc. That one. And then let's see, live inspired. I think if you're on your own personal self-discovery, then this could be really lovely for you. The stories and poetry, there's some poems, mostly stories, with the wisdom that I've gleaned. And I think they're just human. And I've heard from people, they have made them laugh and cry and see things about their humanity. I even had a friend who was like, oh my gosh, it's like, Brene, it's like reading Brene Brown, or the Laura Staley version of Brene, which I was totally moved by that. And then there's Abundant Heart. And I think this is for those of you who, again, don't want a War and Peace experience, because there's a lot of poems that you can dip in and out of. Humane, again, self-discovery. There's essays in this one. If you're really working to reclaim treasures, like that there have been pieces and parts of you that have got lost along the way. Maybe you stuck them in a frozen storage locker. Know that there's goodness in you. You just know that there's so much goodness in you. This may be a really lovely read for you to rediscover your own pieces and parts of goodness and treasures that you might have hidden away because you were fearful that somebody would judge you. Yeah.
I love it. And look what fell out of my Live Inspired book that I use as my thing. I love little things like that. And of course, I love that you signed my books and everything as well. It's special to me to sometimes I've read books and I have thought to myself, I wish I just knew them. I wish I just knew. And so I feel very fortunate to know you. And like I said, I get a hug soon, and it's like the next level is happening over here. I think everybody has just loved your thoughts and words this morning. Everybody's sending you lots of love out in the comments as well. Would you like to stay for our final segment this morning, Laura, or would you like to make your way into the mountains?
I would be honored to stay for the final segment. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to visit our friends at White Scholarship Foundation. We're going to listen to another version of the For Love poem in Italian this morning, and we'll be right back after this.
Imagine a world where every child gets a great education. Educating all children is the only way to end poverty. This is what the White Scholarship Foundation is working to accomplish. Our 6 staff members, our mentors and coordinators, who are on the ground in Kenya, are totally engaged in every aspect of our students' lives, so we can give them every opportunity for success. In just a few short years, we have already awarded 141 scholarships. We send children to high school who would have never gone without our support. And then we help them go on to either university or vocational school. We have already scaled our holistic business model to 4 locations and are ready to scale it to many more. Today it's Kenya, but tomorrow it's more countries. Please contribute what you can today. You can make a one-time donation, a recurring donation, or choose to sponsor a child all on your own for all 4 years of high school for just $3,500. Go to our website, www.weisscholarshipfoundation.org.
Crederò ancora nell'amore, anche quando il cuore è greve e l'anima frantumata. Crederò ancora nell'amore, perché il mondo è dilaniato, non solo il mio piccolo paese, dove vivo quasi al sicuro, dove vivo piuttosto bene, ma l'intero mondo, ogni giorno. Crederò ancora nell'amore, perché il mondo è dilaniato, non solo il mio piccolo paese, dove vivo quasi al sicuro, dove vivo piuttosto bene, ma l'intero mondo ogni giorno. Crederò ancora nell'amore, perché abbiamo bisogno di più luce. Abbiamo bisogno di più luce, non di altri morti, non di nuove bombe, non di più potere. Crederò ancora nell'amore, così che i bambini crescano al sicuro, così che i nostri amici trovino rifugio, così che le frontiere si aprano. Crederò ancora nell'amore, anche quando ho il cuore è greve e l'anima frantumata. Crederò ancora nell'amore e crederò per sempre nell'amore.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. Laura has been involved with the For Love project as well, with Dorothy Auger. And every day, I feel so honored and blessed to be able to have been a part of that project and also to get to share all of those versions with you guys here on the show. And thank you as well to Mandy for standing for love with us this morning. Isn't that just beautiful words, Laura?
Well, and to hear them in the different languages is so moving to me. Oh,
yeah. Powerful. It's powerful. Well, I know I had it down bottom below. I'm going to put it back for you guys now so you can see. CherishYourWorld.com is Laura's website. What can everybody find there, Laura?
They can find more information about how I work with clients and also information about upcoming online classes that I'll be leading. You can sign up for my newsletter that goes out once a week, where I include a tip of the week and a reflection, and it's usually fresh writings that I have done, as well as any podcasts that I've been on. So lots of rich information, not just about feng shui, but about self-discovery and holistic transformations.
Yeah. Love it. And I'm excited to maybe have some conversations with you coming up in the future when we make our move. One thing I wanted to ask you, but while we have a few minutes here, when it comes to feng shui, obviously we know if we're in a home, there are things that we can do to make that home, the energy be how we want. As we are looking for a home, are there things that we can be looking for to help our feng shui, like the process when we go into it, or is it like you have to do it when you get there?
Well, for sure, the house itself, and probably you'll feel the energy, but so importantly, the location, Jessica. And I can't emphasize this enough, that your house is part of a larger context and community. And I say this as a kind of cautionary tale because we moved into a home that needed a lot of love, and we knew that. But right across the street was an extremely challenged individual who, day 4 of our living there, the SWAT team surrounded his house with guns pulled in the middle of the night. I mean, it was it was challenging, and we had no idea. Like, we hadn't gone out and talked to the neighbors and said, what's it feel like living here? Da, 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 da. I mean, no regrets, but it was a learning about your neighbors matter, and where the house is located matters. The other thing is, in terms of that location, sometimes it's a challenge if it's on the very end of a street. And the street channels right towards the front of the house. Yeah. So if that's the case, hopefully if the house, and you love it, is up on a hill or has some protection right in front of it of plantings or trees, so you're not getting that roar of energy, coming right at the house. That would just be a couple of thoughts about that. Noise, smells, just like stand in the front yard, because you might have fallen in love with the house, but like stand in the front yard and feel the energy. Feel, are people smiling? Are they happy? Are they walking their dogs by you? Are they out with their cats? What's the vibe of the whole neighborhood? Because I think sometimes people get so focused on the house, and that's super important, of course, but they forget the larger context in which that house exists. So. Right.
I appreciate those, and that really confirms for me some of the things, because when we were selling here and going to buy there, we were going to just have our realtor find us something small, buy, and then get something else next year. And then I was like, I just need to stand in the yard or something. I need to do. So we're gonna do a rental for about 6 months and give ourselves time to do all of those things that you're talking about, of really feeling it and making sure the SWAT team doesn't show up and all these different things.
Ambulance and he was a very tortured soul. Yeah.
It's awful. And then that happened in one place that we lived in Florida, believe it or not. But we know from some of the Google searches we do, everything happens in Florida. So we're not surprised. Well, Laura, it's been so good to have you on today. We always end the show with birthdays. Do you know anybody that's celebrating a birthday or anything today?
Oh gosh, I didn't double check on my Facebook feed. Rats.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone. I'm sure there are lots of birthdays out there, though.
Well, we will. There always is every day. Believe it.
Yeah.
Well, we will wish everybody on Laura's entire newsfeed a happy birthday today as well.
Happy anniversary, happy birthday.
Yes, anything that you're celebrating. And that's the thing. We always want to assure people that there's a reason to celebrate today. You may have woken up today and went, I don't ho-hum. It's not a whatever kind of day, but there's always something to celebrate. You just have to look a little bit, maybe check out who has a birthday on your news feed. In the celebrity world today, we have a couple people who are no longer with us that had birthdays today, but Tupac Shakur's birthday was today, so happy birthday on the other side, Tupac. And also, if you were a wrestling fan back in the day, you might remember the Ultimate Warrior. He passed away in 2014, but his birthday was today as well. In the celebrities in my life, and ironically enough, Jess Neary's birthday is today. Jess Neary is also a feng shui consultant, and so her birthday is today. Happy birthday, Jess. And also Susan K. Dahl's birthday is today, and my cousin Brian Smith has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Brian. So without further ado, Laura, we are going to sing our birthday song. Oh, I need to turn up my volume here because we have to have our drum roll. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tupac Shakur, the Ultimate Warrior, Susan K. Dahl, Jess Neary, and Brian Smith. Happy birthday to you. And then the crowd goes wild. Happy birthday, everybody. Laura, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. It's always a pleasure to go down the rabbit hole of juiciness with you.
Thank you so much. What a complete joy and honor always, Jessica. And I cannot wait to give you a hug July 13th.
I know. It's going to be so good. It's so good. And also, somebody has a birthday tomorrow. I don't know who it might be, Mandy, but make sure you're tuned in for that tomorrow as well. Thank you guys for watching or listening wherever you are in the world today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. We'll see you next time.
You've been tuned in to Project Joy Live with Jessica Dugas, your weekday morning talk show, inviting you to start your day with a triple shot of good vibes only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Binge all past episodes of Project Joy at projectjoypodcast.com. Until next time, help us spread the joy by sharing this episode, and we'll see you soon.